The flame-grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Order the ultimate food satisfaction with the Flame Grilled Bacon Double Cheeseburger XL. Order your Burger King delivery now.
Let's go! Champions League final qualifier. Celtic, are they 90 minutes away from the £40 million booty, which is there in the Champions League if they qualify? 0-0 tonight, as we know, in Kazakhstan against Kairat Almaty. Andy Walker, who knows all about life at Celtic and in European Cup and Champions League as it now is here. And Mark Guidi, who's been round the globe covering this tournament. We've got the Celtic team for you. The starting 11 is Schmeichel, Ralston, Carter-Vickers, Scales and Tierney, McGregor, Hatate and Nygren, Forrest, Yang, Maeda. Early thoughts, Andy?
Well, it's just so interesting that Adam Maeda doesn't make it. He may well have been injured at the weekend, but a big striker, someone who's actually scored on the Champions League stage, he misses out. But we all know what Maeda can do through the middle. It's still surprising that James Forrest is probably the best wide player at the club, and maybe that is where the criticism is aimed. This is such a big game, and I don't think you find many supporters talking about the money that it involves. It's all about maybe the travel, the glory of going to support their team home and away in the best competition of all, the Champions League.
On the bench for Celtic, Sinisalo, Duhan, Simpson Pusey, we might see him for the first time, Ida, the £9 million striker, McCowan, Shin, who scored at the weekend, Osmond, Kenny, Engels, Bernardo, Murray and Donovan. It was Kenny who scored, wasn't it, at the weekend? Mark, what do you make of the Celtic lineup tonight? I mean, last week people couldn't really believe that they didn't score at home. There was a kind of air of gloom around the place, but after the 3-0 win at the weekend, they seemed to be brighter heading out there to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, to get 3 goals at home, considering that he played a not a full strength team against a stuffy Livingston side, will have done them the world of good getting into kick-off tonight. Paul, I think we could all have picked 10 out of the 11 players. It was Ida going to start as number 9 or was Maeda going to start as number 9? And he's gone for Maeda. Adam Ida's on the bench. Ida will play a role tonight, Paul. I think it's going to be tight. Ida will come off the bench at some stage, there's no doubt about that. And Yang and Forrest will be asked to supply the service. And Nygren's been superb, very, very good again on Saturday, spraying the ball about, penetrating the box as well, getting into a couple of goals. So he'll be important to Celtic tonight, and they need to keep the back door shut, Paul. They really need to keep it tight. So as a unit, Ralston, Carter-Vickers, Scales and Tierney need to be absolutely solid.
Celtic fans, what are you thinking? Celtic fans ahead of the game tonight. 5:45 kick-off. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe, Andy. I know you pay for all the services, so
some I do, some I don't.
There are no dodgy sticks around here.
No,
that we're admitting. There aren't, of course there aren't. Andy, were you surprised that just the way Celtic approached the game last week, it was slower, it just didn't happen for them? Everyone expected it's going to be 2-0, 3-0. Is that going to be enough, 4 or 5?
Well, you asked me what I predicted, and I said 3-0. I thought Celtic might be able to do it comfortably, but in all honesty, they were better than I thought they would be. I thought they were quite controlled. I thought the keeper made an outstanding save from James Forrest. Celtic didn't really have a lot of one-on-ones, shots on goal, but that save from the goalkeeper, who I think might miss out tonight, he was injured in that first leg, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but Celtic just weren't at it. It wasn't their night, and this is now really tricky. I mean, the Celtic supporters couldn't have hoped for a better draw, and the fact that they're travelling all that way, and let's remember Kalmat travelled all that way to Glasgow and played very well.
Yeah. It's dry your eyes a wee bit, Mark, isn't it? They came here and did the same thing, and I know their manager said that one of Celtic's players would cost the whole of their team, would be the same price.
You can't expect it to be easy. It's too big a prize, Paul, for it to be easy. But what you can see is it's a very favourable draw from Celtic, and if they don't go over the line tonight, the players will get stick. The manager will get stick, but the board will get the brunt of it. You know, that's
Sure.
the bottom line. The Celtic supporters, if it doesn't go well tonight, will blame the board. And even if it does go well, there's still a mood out there that they feel they want change. They feel they want more transparency. They're starting to get one or two more over the line, like Balikwisha, the winger who's come in, but he's been in the radar for over a year.
Yeah.
Why does it take so long? Why does it take so long to go and get a deal done?
Looks as though that's happening though, isn't it? And
but
Brendan
but
Rodgers
should
said
have been in
last
by
night,
now, Paul. Should have been in.
He did say last night there'll be news just after the game, probably.
Yeah.
Those weren't his words, but it looks as though Michel-Ange Balikwisha, he said farewell to the Royal Antwerp fans at the weekend. And the Boca Juniors left back Marcello Saracchi, 27-year-old, and he's been filmed coming into Britain.
Yeah, that looks it's going to go through on loan. Some saying there's an option to buy, some saying there's not an option to buy. Could be around about the £2 million mark. Really burst onto the scene. Tipped for big things. Uruguay left back. His career's kind of stalled. It's not been great, but they still feel there's something there to be unlocked. And we'll be interested to see how that works with Saracchi and Kieran Tierney.
The news from Rangers just now is that before they headed out to Bruges for that game tomorrow night, I mean, last night it was mainly Rangers fans phoning. They're not having it. It's so tough after the weekend again. 3 games, no wins. But Igamane didn't train today, Andy. So looks as though Lille are back in. I think initially it was a loan deal they wanted, but they're in. Apparently they're speaking with Rangers about a deal. Feyenoord have been mentioned as well. Do you see him playing for Rangers again?
No, he can't, because it would send a terrible message to the rest of the dressing room that you can pick and choose your games. And I've got to say, if there was one thing you wanted to avoid in your career, it was looking at your teammates and feeling as though you'd let them down. I mean, someone who refuses to come onto the pitch, I just found it extraordinary. And of course, in amongst all that, there's you heard from Russell Martin, there was a bid in for him. Rangers knocked it back. There's a business decision to be done now. They're trying to maximise whatever he is worth, but very hard to do when he has shown such a shocking attitude.
Billy's on asking, what is he worth? What do you think? It's hard to say.
Well, his price has gone down from whatever it was that it was offered last week. I just can't believe that someone has an attitude like that, where he's just gone in the huff, he doesn't want to play. And the other worrying thing was that Russell Martin said himself that, you know, he's one of a number of players who are in the same position, and that's a huge concern. Players that just want, to grease their own palms with whatever is on offer. Wherever you are, Paul, just be committed to your club. Whether it's you're on loan, whether you're there for a short time. I mean, you're a footballer. Have some pride, have some pedigree, and do the best for yourself and your teammates.
Mark, you've been covering it for a long time. It's really tough for Russell Martin, and at the weekend that result was the last thing he needed.
Yeah, I kind of felt from it full time when he revealed the news in his television interview. I did think Rangers would drop points. I did tip the draw on Friday night. I just don't think Rangers have got it in them just now to go to somewhere like Paisley. It's more than 10 games unbeaten at home. But Igamane, Paul, when you hear of that kind of attitude, and by the way, if Russell Martin was wrong in terms of what he insinuated, then it would have been cleared up. There'd have been more clarity to the hasn't coming out, or the guy Igamane himself would have got his own social channel. So there is absolutely no doubt that he refused to play for Rangers, so he has to go. There's been talk in the past, but we hear it all the time, inflated prices for Rangers players that play 3 good games, and all of a sudden they think they're worth 15 to 20 million. If Rangers get 6 or 7 million, they'll be fine. And also as well, there might have been 1 or 2 managers, Paul, that would have wanted Igamane, might have gone for him before the window closes on Monday night, but that'll have put them off. That won't endear to them. So it's a shocker what's happened. And when you hear of that, is it any wonder Rangers struggle to win trophies? Is it any wonder Rangers go on the road in domestic games and can't win? When you look at Igamane coming off the bench last week against Bruges, and for me it was just selfish. His play was selfish, flicks, tricks, all that. Try not be a team player. When you're coming on at that time, when your goal's down, you've got to be a team player. You're not on there to go. He was just on there to try and win himself a move. So do you know what? He's been a decent player for Rangers. They'll make a healthy profit on him, but he's a bad egg, and you've got to get shot at them. And clearly, by what Russell Martin said, there's a few bad eggs still to get out the door.
He's the man that scored the winner, of course, against Celtic just a few months ago at Celtic Park. The referee this weekend, Andy, as you now know, the SFA have appointed Don Robertson to be in charge of the game at Ibrox, assisted by Daniel McFarlane and Chris Ray. Andrew Dallas will be the lead VAR, assisted by Premiership referee Callum Scott.
I've never got any comment on a referee. Okay. You just want to see how they handle the game. I've got no preconceived ideas about what they might or might not do in a game that's leading up, but you judge them on the day, you judge them on the action, and also you get a chance to judge the VAR and the impact that they have as well.
I don't know what I expect you to say. I always say it with a flourish, the referee is so-and-so. What are you going to say? Don Robertson, good referee?
Don Robertson is a good referee, Paul. He's backed up. Andrew Dallas is one of our dedicated VAR officials, so that's a good move to have that in place as well. I have to. I'm not saying the referees have had it easy in Old Firm games the past couple of years, but compared to some, there's a focus in the football. When there's really been controversy in Old Firm games the past 2 or 3 years, it's been about VAR decisions. It's not been about players actually. So there's a good bit of respect between both sides. But the first one of the season, the first derby of the season, it's going to be tasty, and we don't know how it's going to go tonight for Celtic. I'm pretty certain how it's going to go tomorrow night for Rangers, as in they will get knocked out. But come Sunday, if Russell Martin loses on Sunday, there'll be, I don't know what the allocation for Celtic is, but there'll be in excess of 45,000 Rangers fans baying for him.
Right, before that, can you imagine if that does happen? But that's still a long way away. So we're only half an hour away though from kick-off. Celtic playing Kairat Almaty, where the temperature I think is about 30 degrees. If you're just tuning into the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King, the Celtic lineup, the changes as you would expect: Schmeichel, Ralston, Carter Vickers, Scales and Tierney, McGregor, Hatate and Nygren. Forrest is in along with Yang, Maeda through the middle, you would imagine, and on the bench Sinisalo, Duhan, Simpson, Pierce, Ida, McCown, Shin, Osman, Kenny, Engels, Bernardo, Murray and Donovan. The Kairat manager said, I think Celtic underestimated us last week.
No, we always respect every opponent. We know they were going to be a good side and hard to beat, and we didn't quite play to our level, especially first half. But I think the advantage of two legs is that you get a chance to play against the opponent. We know they are really hard to beat, hard to break down, and it's really up to us to impose our game. And I think having the first leg now really helps us, because we know the players we're up against, and we'll look forward to that challenge.
How did they travel? It's a long journey, we know. What about the mindset?
Yeah, I think we're all very relaxed but focused. I think we come off the back of a good win at the weekend. Some of the guys getting game time. Travel, all the preparation has gone really well, so we'll have a nice session this evening to make our final preparation. But no, we're all focused on the game. But like I say, if you overthink it, and I felt we probably maybe did that a little bit in the first half, where you overthink it, so then you don't play with the freedom, and so you have to go into these games. We know what's at stake. It's very clear, but the only way you get to where you want to get to is by playing how we want to.
Andy, overthink it. How do you do that? I know that was then. What difference will the Celtic fans see tonight?
Well, they'll just know a bit about the individual players and what they're capable of. I'll be interested to see how they approach it, Calmat, because I thought defensively very organised. Were quite happy to sit deep and invite Celtic onto them. Didn't really give them a lot of good opportunities to score. Defended well, but if they do want to be a bit more adventurous tonight, and there is a bit of an onus on them they're at home. They're on the verge of what would be an extraordinary victory for them. How ambitious will they be? How many men will they throw forward? And Celtic with Forrest and Yang, you certainly did not expect those two players to be in the wide position. But what they do have is they've got a bit of pace. They can carry the ball 30, 40, 50 yards. So, it'll just be interesting to see how Calmat approach it now.
Mark, if they weren't to go through, and there's a positivity tonight, I sense. I'm just looking at the message boards coming in at Go Football Show. A lot of Celtic fans think it's going to be tough. Francis is on from Hamilton. He says 1-0 Celtic. Could be a long night, but they're going to go through. Lots of messages coming in. But, have the board gambled? The fact that the players that will come in the next few days, but if they had been here earlier, I know it's not an easy jigsaw to put together, but they should have had more recruits in by now.
I would say so, Paul.
Yep.
I mean, They're cash rich. There's not been any surprises thrust upon them in terms of the squad. So like Kyogo's been away since January. A number 9's been needed. Kuhn, it's been well known that Kuhn wanted to leave, and they cashed in early on him. So it's not like, something out of the blue that, oh my God, right, how do we cope with this? Tierney, in terms of a left back, Taylor going away, there's none. So yeah, and like I said the other night, Paul, Balikwisha coming in, the go ahead Eagles winger possibly coming. These are guys that have been in the radar for weeks, months and months. And for me, that makes it worse that they've not been in, because had it been 2 new names that suddenly became available, or their scouts have come upon, you think, oh well, actually there's 2 new guys, right, okay, but it's not been good enough. It might be good enough come September the 1st, but I think if you're a member of the Celtic board, the Celtic hierarchy, more than anyone, you are hoping that Celtic go through tonight, not just for the financial prize at the end of it, but in terms of for yourself, and in terms of what the Celtic supporters are going to think of you.
The draw is on Friday. For Celtic fans, it's not unimaginable now, but they expected, there wasn't an arrogance, they just hoped and expected to be in the Champions League draw this weekend. Liam Scales, captain Celtic against Livy at the weekend, the 3-0 win. He was asked though if they had, was he surprised at how good Kairat were in Glasgow?
Every team at this level is going to be good. They've got through a few rounds coming up to that game by being robust, defending well, and being hard to beat. So we knew what was expected. It's just we sort of didn't start the game the way we would have liked to. So I think that was it.
Liam Scales spoke though about the lure of the qualification, Friday's draw.
Yeah, obviously it's where we want to be as players. You want to be playing at the highest level, and a lot of us have experienced that in the last couple of years, and that's where we want to be. So we know what's at stake, and it's huge for us, and we're fully focused on it.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. New and improved Whopper. Now with fluffier buns. The Whopper never tasted so good. Let's go!
Go Radio Football Show, Tuesday night edition with Burger King, Paul Cooney, Andy Walker and Mark Guidi. Normally at this point, Andy, we're counting down to the Old Firm games, but Celtic tonight, 22 minutes away from kick-off with Kairat Almaty. Make that 25 minutes. And Andy, Rangers tomorrow night against Bruges. I heard Mark saying he doesn't think Rangers are going to go through. 3-1 down. It was almost 4-1. Butland did a great save. I know Rangers had the ball in the net. It was almost a 3-2. But at 3-1, there's still a glimmer of hope for Rangers?
I don't think so. I don't think they've got the players, and I think it'll be interesting to see how they go out. Do they put up some sort of performance? Is there a bit of spirit there? Is there a bit of hope for the big game at the weekend? I think that's what the Rangers fans will be looking at. But to have lost 3-1 at home and the manner in which they lost, it's I just don't think they've got the ability, the quality to get themselves out of that hole.
Mark, what do you feel for Rangers? I mean, Barry was saying last night, they have to compete though. They can't go and lose 3 goals in 20 minutes.
I think Rangers may well get some kind of form of positive result tomorrow night, but in terms of overall over the 2 legs, Paul, there's I'd give them a less than 5% chance of overturning the deficit. Bruges are too good a team. I think a lot will depend on what Bruges feel about the game tomorrow night. Do they want to just go and kill it off in the first half hour, try and score a couple of goals? Defensively, Rangers, they're just not solid enough yet, Paul. You can't really see them keeping a clean sheet, particularly in the company of a team such as Bruce. So no, it's really all about Sunday for Rangers. They're guaranteed Europa League football. They always make a good fist of it. Financially, it's way short of the Champions League, but it's where Rangers are at this moment in time, and the full focus on them should be getting a victory on Sunday. On Sunday, of course, it was Ayunga. What a great goal, wasn't it? From their point of view, Andy, the 3 touches onto Mandaron, boom. Just awful defending. You can't expect to get in behind a quality team like that, and I think you would expect Rangers to have a bit more quality, but I just don't see it. Any decent team would have stopped that second through ball. I don't give them much hope at all for getting through the tie against Bruges.
Young Finlay Curtis got the equaliser, and that was so important. But from a journalistic point of view, Mark, it was like watching, it was a breaking story really when the manager was interviewed afterwards, and he was asked about Igamane, and then he said, well, this is what he said afterwards in the media conference.
Wanted to bring him on at around 60 minutes, and he said he has a sore quad, so he can't come on. So he said he'd done it warming up.
And he said, he also revealed that there had been a bid for him earlier in the week, last week.
Yeah, we turned down a bid this week, but we'll assess his injury, and I have to trust Hamza. So we'll see what happens.
So he didn't train today, Mark, and it looks like the writing is on the wall for him.
Yeah, 6 days to get him out the door and just try and get as much money as you can. You know, if you can get 6 million or whatever it may be, Paul, all things considered, then you cash in and you move on, because what Russell Martin can't afford now, because there's so much pressure on him externally. I mean, he's made it clear that he has a full support of the men upstairs, and ultimately that's all that matters. But he cannot show any sign of weakness in a manager. Because you show a sign of weakness, there'll be 1 or 2 players in that dressing room. As happens, dressing rooms up and down the country, the old phrase, we're no having him. We're not having him, don't like the way he plays, or he's not playing me, like, get him out the door. So he has to be really strong and stamp his authority all over that situation that arose on Sunday afternoon. So get him out and make it clear to anybody else, if you don't want to be here, go and have a word with the guys upstairs, and we'll get you out the door on Monday. Because when you see and hear what's been going on with Igamane, Paul, there's probably been a lot of that going on with other players, not to that extent where they refuse to go on, but just guys that are not being fully committed to what Rangers need to go and achieve. You need to hunt them, and you need to hunt them quickly.
Okay, Andy. Yep.
I was just going to say, even at training every day, if you're up against a guy who's not committed, you will go after him, and that's a worry, because you want everyone to be in the same boat. We've all been at a club where you've gone through a difficult time, and the way you get out of it is by being together, giving your best. Eventually you might come through it. I mean, it's not just Igamane, it's Igamane and others, because Russell Martin said it. There are others in the same boat as him, one eye in, one eye out of wanting to be here.
Have you ever seen a player not coming on because he just didn't want to play? I'm not saying it, we can't say definitively, but
I think I've seen 1 or 2 players just declare themselves unfit for a game. Never when they're on the bench, I'm not going to come on. And I mean, I think maybe that's a fault on our part being Scotland, the UK, maybe, where you might play with an injury, and maybe you shouldn't, I don't know. But I've certainly seen 1 or 2 players who, I bad feel I can't make it.
What I couldn't figure out was, well, why didn't he tell the staff, the physio, one of the coaches, look, I've pulled a quad? I mean, beforehand. It was an hour later that he says, no, I can't come on.
It seems to me that he was at it. And
a chancer. Get him out the door.
You should hear it. Peter this morning from Boardroom Street, he's just not having it at all. And he said, there's loads of there's jokes going on social media, it's funny, but still game stuff. The Rangers fans will know, they'll have seen it. It's not fair to the Rangers fans.
No, and it's not fair to the Rangers manager. His back's against the wall, and one of his better players, middle to front, refuses to come on.
Win on go with Vision Scotland. Discover life without limits and unlock perfect vision with tailored treatment options that suit you.
Celtic game 15 minutes away. Before that, we've teamed up with Vision Scotland to create the ultimate challenge for Scottish football fans, of whom we've got many tuned in. Your tuned in ears and football knowledge could help you hit the jackpot of £2,500.
Marvellous.
Thank you. Alan Stewart's with us. We've got a clip of 5 mystery footballers, all of whom have played in Scotland at some point in their careers. Each voice, when first identified, is worth £100 to you, and you need to get all 5 in order to win £2,500. On the line, playing tonight, is Craig from East Kilbride. Hi Craig, good evening.
Hi Paul, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you? Where are you?
Yeah, just parked up now.
Right.
Just maybe up the road to work.
And whereabouts in East Kilbride are you from?
Lindsayfield.
Lindsayfield, just checking you're not too close to Mark Guidi in case he's trying to slip you the answers.
I'm at the other end, we're fine. But I'll drop the prize off if you want, Craig.
Craig, and your team, who do you follow?
Rangers.
Rangers.
Unfortunately now.
Well, look, we'll talk Rangers in a moment or two. Let's not keep you hanging, Shoei. Did you hear it last night?
Yeah.
You did, right. So
it's quite tough, isn't it?
it's not easy. And nobody knows, honestly. Nobody knows apart from the machine here. So something comes up. You have to get them in the right order. Even if you get one of them, it's £500. They are all connected. If you get £100 for each of them. Sorry, I've just... that's coming off the wages. That is the wages. Right. Okay, so stand by. Here we go for the 5 voices. Okay, I'm going to play them a few times.
No problem.
Here we go.
The Go Radio Football Show.
Yeah, there are 5 voices in there. Andy Walker, your reaction?
You're not getting any of them, are you?
Possible.
Steady. It is possible. It can be done.
What number was I?
Right, here we go. Number 12. Here we go again.
The Go Radio Football Show.
The Go Radio Football Show. Each one of them.
Definitely get one, I think.
Right, okay, can you?
Yeah, I
okay,
could get
right,
one.
say no more.
Dear.
And they have recorded them for us. Yeah, so these are all. James has been all over the globe trying to get these, doing it on Zoom. Right, here we go. One more time. Actually, you can hear it as many times as you want, as long as we're ready for the kickoff. But here we go. One more.
The Go Radio Football Show.
Craig, East Kilbride, what do you think?
I'll see the ones I've kind of wrote down. I'll go for 2 Peter Lovencrans.
Peter Lovencrans, right, hold on a wee second.
John McGinn.
John McGinn, okay.
And 5 Arthur Newman.
Right, so, okay, you've got one of them right. So, yeah.
Right.
And can I say which one it is? I can. No, I can. I'm just checking with executive producer. I can. Number 5 is Arthur Newman. Well done.
Good on you, Craig. Well
That's
done.
very impressive.
I've got to tell you, Jackie Bird phoned in last night. So I got no chance of getting these. And I'll tell you what, she wanted the £2,500. Seriously. So there you are. Take
nice.
that, Jackie. Now, did Mark slip you that? No, he doesn't know it. So well done, Arthur Newman. The other 2 are wrong. Arthur Newman.
See for number 1 and 4. Can you guess them as well? Kind of randomly, Morris Ross and Mixu Patalainen, number 4.
Wow, you know the funny thing is, no, neither of them. No, it's not. Okay, £100 is yours. Hey, that's not bad. £100 on that too.
Not bad for a nice work.
I'm going to let you hear it one more time, or is that him? Is he out of time? No. James is. He's saying that's it because we've got the game coming up soon. What are you thinking, Rangers wise? The fans are not having it just now, are they? What would you say though?
Nah.
You know, I'm not.
It's not much good to say, is it, really? I just feel as if he looks like he'll be second best throughout the full season, so it doesn't look like it's affecting him either. For me, he's got no passion about him. I didn't really like the appointment, but I thought it would be a lot better football we're playing just now. But it's a tough watch. Every game's a tough watch.
But look at the way he got
the next games. Yeah. I'm looking at the next games going, I don't think we're going to win any of the games. Hearts, Hibs, Celtic, obviously Club Brugge. I don't think we're going to win that game at all anyway, but even the next few games after that, it's a tough ask. Looking at the squad now.
Yeah. What do you feel about Igamane?
Obviously, he needs to go now. He can't not come on. You know what I mean? But I mean, you've not played a centre forward in a game. You played a false 9, and you've got 2 strikers on the bench. Whether he's half fit or not, you'd expect him to play. But if he's heads elsewhere, then take the money and invest in the squad. Hopefully. And
the way they're playing, and he wants them to play. Do you understand it? Can you see what he's trying to do?
Yeah, but we're not prime Barca. Are we? Like you're causing your own problems all the time. So I think he's got to change his ways. But it just looks like he's not going to.
Andy,
when you look at City at the weekend and the goal they lost against Spurs, I mean, it just looks so bad when you're caught in your own penalty box trying to play out. It just looks daft.
It drives fans absolutely nuts.
Yeah, well, it does when you lose goals like that. When you can get through that line, when you can get through the press, all of a sudden you've got an extra man. That's why they do it.
Mark, what do you think is going to happen? Look, we can't solve it. We don't know just now. Huge game tomorrow, but an even bigger game on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about Sunday in terms of Russell Martin. I don't think he's in any danger of losing his job. Although it sounds like Craig and many other Rangers fans would be perfectly. Well, they wouldn't shed any tears if Russell Martin was
Mark,
dismissed.
Can I ask how long you'd give him before you think he's in danger of losing his job?
Well,
say he loses the next three league games.
I don't know the ownership. I've got a feeling that they want to build something inside the football club as well. Craig, but I get where you're coming from. But I think he said 9 games, and probably, I don't know if you agree, apart from Pilsen at home's only game, we thought, oh wow, right, okay, Rangers are on to something. Yeah. Apart from that, it's been stop-start, it's been bitty defensively all over the shop too many times, and still kind of try to work out what he's trying to do. But you've got to remember what he's inherited. He's not inherited a machine. He's not inherited a football club that's been dominant and successful and winning trophy after trophy over the last 10 or 12 years. 3 trophies in, is it 12 years? So look at the calibre of manager that Rangers have had inside the building. Been in a European final under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. So it's not just about the players. Ultimately, of course, it's about winning on a Saturday, but there's so much more to Rangers at the moment, and you can't keep firing managers. So what do? And another manager down the road might say, I ain't get up to Rangers. Let's just say off the top of my head who's available. Michael Carrick, young up and coming English manager, more than decent at Middlesbrough, Man United pedigree. Rangers job, I could put the door after 10 games. Where do you draw the line?
I know it's a hard one. I just look like we're going to be second best in every game. It looks like there's no heart at all in that team in any way, shape or form. We're not even playing well. I even look we're going to score goals. Yeah. You know that way. Apart from the Pilsen game at home, I agree with you. At the time I thought, right, we're looking good here, might start clicking on. It's just it's awful to watch. It's genuinely awful.
Yeah. What do you think, Celtic tonight? What do you reckon?
I also hope they get beat. I'm not
coefficient.
I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm not going to turn and go, nah, I'm not. I don't want them to be in the Champions League. Oh.
And
I'm a Rangers fan.
Prediction for Sunday?
No comment.
No comment. So no confidence. Listen, I
don't fancy that at all.
All right.
Is it as bad as that, Craig? You're at home with almost 50,000 Rangers fans. Is it as bad as that at the moment?
Well, I think it is. I think any fan. It's toxic enough. Imagine you go a goal down to Celtic, 2 goals down to Celtic quickly as well. Imagine that's going to be. People are leaving after half an hour the other night.
Craig, thanks for calling in. We've run out of time. Celtic game will be on soon. £100 coming from our friends at Vision Scotland, and we'll do it again tomorrow night. Somebody is going to get the jackpot of £2,500 if you guess all 5. So number 5 was Arthur Newman. So if you're on tomorrow night, you should know that. If you get it wrong, if you said number 2 was Arthur Newman, you would be wrong and you wouldn't get it. That's it. It's going to be the Celtic game next. Thanks, Craig, for that call. 0808 17 17 700.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Every home is now the home of the Whopper with Burger King delivery.
Let's go! Let's go from Glasgow to Kairat Almaty up against Celtic. We're going to Kazakhstan. I mean, we'll keep you right up to date. I think there's 400 or 500 Celtic fans have travelled there, including John, who was on the programme the other night, who was leaving on Sunday to get there. It is remarkable. Andy Walker, the former Celtic star and Scotland star, is with us as Celtic come out. In the hoops as normal. And Mark Guidi is with us too. If you're just tuning in, the Celtic lineup: Schmeichel, Ralston, of course, in for Alistair Johnson, injured last week. Carter Vickers and Scales. Tierney, who of course played for Arsenal in the Champions League just a few months ago. Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate and Benjamin Nygren, who scored 2 at the weekend. Forrest, Yang, Maeda up front. Andy, can you tell much? The camera just panning the Celtic team there. It sounded a different atmosphere going into a positivity. Does that mean anything as we look at the pictures?
Well, it just looks like a really busy stadium. Obviously, they feel as though they've got a chance, which would be truly remarkable for a club of this size and a country of that size to get involved in the Champions League. But I think when you look at the Celtic starting 11, just the 2 changes from last week, Ralston is in for the injured Alistair Johnson, and Yang is in for Igamane, which I think is the big surprise. But of course, Ida was taken off at half time, and that's always that tells you the manager wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy. Let's hear the manager saying, look, the team know how important this is and the gravity of it. There's 40 million at stake, but he doesn't want the team thinking about that. He wants them to go out and give everything they can.
No, I don't need to explain it. I think every player, every coach, manager wants to work at the highest level of club football, and for us that is the Champions League. So I think for me it's more based around it. Don't worry about failing, worrying about performance, because if you think so much of the consequence, then it can paralyse you. And that's not something that we want to do. We have to play our game, play the football that we've played in a lot of the league games this year, and if we can take that into the game, then we've got a fantastic chance of qualification.
Mark, your thoughts on the Kairat team and the way they performed last week? We see the two captains coming together there.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy tonight, Paul. I think if Celtic do get through, it'd be a single goal. Wouldn't surprise me if it is extra time and penalties. As Andy said earlier, it'll be interesting to see how Kairat approach the game on their home patch. Are they feeling confident enough to go and take the game to Celtic to try and get the opening goal? Are they going to sit in? So that'll be one for me, but I think there'll be a determination. Certainly I don't think Celtic could be any worse than what they were in terms of an attacking sense and their creativity. I think they'll be much better tonight. Celtic to do it by a single goal, 2-1 after extra time.
2-1 after extra time. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Celtic will do it. I think their experience will shine through. When you look at the fullbacks, Ralston, who's got Champions League experience, especially on the other side with Kieran Tierney, Carter Vickers, he's captain material. I mean, you look at Callum McGregor and the way that Hatate played in Champions League along with Maeda last season. The experience is there. They just need to turn it on tonight.
It was 30 degrees this afternoon. It's now 22 degrees, I hear from in the ground. Well, that's what it tells me here in the app. 22 degrees. And John and the 500 fans who are there, Andy, it is remarkable, isn't it? That journey. We were talking last night about how long it is. I see Celtic had to go. They had to do a stop on the way, a refuel.
I was debating with my son whether it was in Europe or not, but this is the way that it's going. And I think when you see this Celtic team, I don't think there's many Celtic supporters who would have expected in the biggest game of the season, in such an early part of the season, to have Forrest and Yang as your wide players supporting Maeda through the middle. I'm sure every single one of them would have thought Celtic would have strengthened, given what is at stake. They would have strengthened by now.
Norwich were in for Yang just a month ago, when you think about it, before the and they knew Kuhn was away. I agree. The game has kicked off just a few moments ago. Celtic playing from right to left. If you're watching it on the screen there, it's on Prime Video. They turn up everywhere these days, don't they? On Amazon Prime, I think they call it.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. You've seen that. Commentators, John Champion.
Oh yeah,
good commentator, and Courtney Kirk as the co-commentator.
We've got Andy Walker here along with your good self.
Nothing I get, but you should have somebody that's played for the club as a co-commentator. You should have. That should always be a gimme. It was the same last week. It was a non-Celtic player who was doing the co-coms. Don't understand that. You got to give the customer value for money, and having someone that's played for Celtic should always be a co-commentator on games like this. Andy, the temperature, is it a factor? I know it's altitude, it's pretty high. It's just on the border between China and Russia as they come forward. It's cleared there by Kieran Tierney. Is the temperature, the altitude a factor?
No, it won't be. The preparation would have been good. They'll have trained last night on the pitch. I think I'm right in saying they're sticking to UK time in most of their approach to whatever they do, whether that's training, whether that's eating, sleeping. But there's a determination about these Kairat players that I think you just saw there, chasing balls to the touchline, to the byline, just trying to keep it all alive.
It's 9 o'clock there, so they are 4 hours ahead of us. How do Celtic go for it then? Do you want to see, given you've got Forrest on from the beginning, I mean, he's 34, that Celtic want to really go for it? I know they don't want to give away an early goal, but Mark, do you expect them to impose themselves on this and begin to impress on Kairat that, they're a team that, just narrowly went out to Bayern Munich last season in this tournament?
Yeah, Celtic have got lots of Champions League experience, Paul, that they're now capable. There was a spell for many, many years where Celtic couldn't get a result away from home for love and their money, but they've got over that kind of psychological hurdle. They're now in possession, they're comfortable, but you can't underestimate Kairat. They've got a bit of pace on the counter, but I think Celtic will dominate most of the proceedings. There's slack pass there from Scales. You've got to get that right. It's a 15-yard pass. My goodness, just get it right and find your teammate.
Is that where he lets himself down? I don't want to focus on him.
Now and again he does, now and again he does, but they get it in the wide areas, and then you've got to hope that Maeda's on form. Nigel will be coming in behind him, pushing into that penalty area. But on the early stages, Paul, I know we're just over 3 minutes into the game, but in the early stages I would expect Celtic to have most of the ball. But there's no doubt, and we can see one just now, Kyra are decent on the counter.
Yep. And they're coming forward there on the counter, Andy, just a moment ago. In fact, the ball is going out of play. It's going to be a throw in to Kieran Tierney.
I think it will be 100 miles an hour as we've seen in these early stages, and eventually people like Tierney and Atati and McGregor and Engels, who looks to be an important player, certainly over the last couple of weeks. He's been very impressive. You would expect them to get control of the ball and control the pass and control the tempo and have the majority of the ball. And I think, up against an opponent who pretty much can't believe they're here. I mean, I'm not putting them down at all. The fact that they've come through 3 qualifiers to get to this stage. But I'll say it again, Celtic couldn't have asked for a better opponent in the playoff round.
4 minutes gone, 0-0. Mark, how many times were we on here when the Old Firm games were on and we'd say, they do a great job there on Sky with Ian Crocker and Andy Walker, but turn them down and here is Mark Guidi, John Hartson and Barry Ferguson. I had to dance that one, Andy, because you and I have worked together for a wee while, and everyone's got the highest regard for you and Ian Crocker on the Glasgow 850. Talk about that in a moment or two, but Kairat Almaty on the attack at the moment, coming down the left, high ball into the area, but it's headed away.
They fancy it. They've no nerves.
Yep. I was going to say,
team
Mark,
really fancy. They're not nervous in the slightest.
They're certainly getting men forward in a way that they didn't in the first leg, and you would understand that. Defensively they were so sound, so organised, but there's a bit of an onus on them in front of their own support to get an astonishing result. To beat Celtic at this stage would be remarkable for Kaimat.
Indeed. It's a city of 2 million people, so it's a substantial area as they come forward with a shot. Takes a deflection just past the post. Schmeichel got down to it, had it covered, Andy?
Yeah, I think so, but you're right, there was a deflection, and I think it is gone for a corner there, and nice skill outside the box. Eventually his shot comes in about 25 yards, and he was just trying to collect it there, Schmeichel, but in fact it's come off one of his own players, so
it's a double deflection.
It'll be a bye kick.
It's a goal kick, a bye kick. We prefer the bye kick here in Glasgow. Glasgow's on the Go Radio Football Show with our friends at Burger King. Mark, you home for a whopper tonight? You think it's going to be 1-0? Did you say 2-1?
2-1 extra time.
2-1, you reckon?
Okay. There's no doubt that Kyra are a very capable team. I don't think they've got the finesse of Celtic. I don't think they've got the real technical ability that most of the Celtic players have, but there's no doubt that Celtic will need to be on it, Paul. And so far, and I know there's only 6 minutes to clock, but Celtic haven't been inside the Kyrat penalty area yet.
That's true. So early stages as Kieran Tierney plays it forward to Dyson Maeda. Such an important player, Maeda. 33 goals last season, and he's got 1 so far this season. I know there's only 3 league games, a League Cup game, Premier Sports, and this their second one. So it's
well, he impressed me with his variety of finishes, especially when he went through the middle. I didn't think he was anything like a natural number 9, but at times the way he ran, the way he led the line, and his finishes, you thought, this guy can play in a number of positions.
Their team, it's the different goalkeeper, of course. The sub-keeper is Anar Berkov. They've got Lewis Mata, Sorokin, the captain Martovico, Tapalov, Arad, Glazer, Hamrika, who had a chance a few moments ago, Marinsky, Ricardinho and Jorginho. Don't ask me to repeat that one. The lineup there, but look, we know they are no mugs. Liam Scales, who captained at the weekend for Celtic, plays it down the left, trying to bring Yang into things. Could be a big night for him, Andy, for Yang, because on occasions, he's got.
I thought he gave Celtic a bit of a lift when he came on last week, but I don't think there are many Celtic supporters who thought he would have been a number 1 option for a game of this magnitude. But what it does do is it gives him an opportunity. Hatati there has committed a bad foul. You can see his leg just catching his opponent on the calf, and I think he knew what he was doing there. Hatati, he's lucky he got away without a yellow there,
because the referee, he's noted for dishing out yellows. He's the Italian Maurizio Mariana. He has he's refereed Celtic before, Scotland as well, and he is one of the top referees.
He likes a card or two, and I agree with Andy. I think Rio Hatate knew exactly what he was doing there, and I think that should have been a yellow card.
Did you do any of your games, Mark? I'll be in
I think maybe the Reserve League West on Monday night, he might have popped up just in his way around for the chippy.
Here's a big one. I mean, everyone works on set pieces, and whether they're corners or free kicks in the last third. This one's about 40 yards out
for Kairat.
For Kairat, it will be a big diagonal, and Celtic keeping the high line. They must be more than 25 yards from their own goal.
Let's remember, we're not on the telly, so we'll tell which one it is. Andy's used to being there with the Sky cameras, but that's gone all the way to Kasper Schmeichel. Could be a big night for him as well, Andy. And the season didn't end the way that he would have wanted with the cup final goal, but he started well. He hasn't had too much to do, but
I think he's still got it. I mean, you're dead right to highlight the fact that it was a mistake, a huge mistake in the cup final. It gave Aberdeen a bit of hope, and Celtic weren't at their best. But goalkeeping error, it's always proves to be so costly.
Yep. The G850, we'll talk more about it. The Old Firm, the Glasgow Derby, the soul of Glasgow, is available wherever you get the podcast. I'll tell you a bit more about it in a few moments, but a lot of people have been tuning in since it went live. Yes, I think it dropped yesterday morning at 9 o'clock, Mark. There you are.
Yeah, really good podcast. Interesting, lots of good views, beautifully hosted. Yeah, tune in.
By you. Yes. No, it is with Ian Crocker was on it, Charlie Mulgrew, Barry Ferguson, and your good self, Mark. So it's not a run through the whole 130 odd years of the big two playing each other.
45 minutes or so.
It is. Yes, around that. Flies in.
Yeah,
flies
very
in.
good.
Did you give us a mention?
Views.
No.
You did get a mention, actually. Yeah, you've seen it.
I'd have been Crocs.
Yeah, that's right. About these favourite co-commentators, and it wasn't you. No, I'm kidding. The truth is, he said you and Chris Sutton, Neil McCann, but his number one, only just, was Davy Provan.
I saw him at the weekend, and I know he still keeps in contact with Davy. Gets the odd text exchange with him.
But what does Crocs know about commentating? He is brilliant, isn't he? It was lovely to see him again, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I've worked with him since 1993. I shouldn't say that, actually. Makes me sound so as if we were both very young working. We were doing the equivalent. It sounded strangely a bit like Super Scoreboard in the West Midlands, honestly.
Birmingham, Villa,
Birmingham,
Wales,
yeah,
West Brom.
But it was the same music.
He's a West Ham man, so that's his soft spot.
I know, that's right. Yeah.
You're struggling just now, my goodness.
Finding out about the baggies and all that. Let's go to the best Scots, all that kind of stuff. I was presenting it for you all. It's weird. So Richard Park he was involved. I'm just watching. You're missing nothing at the moment, as you can tell. It would be strange if something had happened and we're.
Well, Celtic have got the ball in the last third. Negrin is getting to the byline. Maybe a cross coming in here, have a chance, but it looks as though Forrest slipped at the back post. But at least they're getting the ball into the box, and they got men forward there. Better
to see, Mark.
Yeah, they've just got to get into the final third a bit more. Paul, I mean, neither goalies had a save to make, but Kyra are looking the likelier team to score, if you want to put it that way. But Nygren into a good area on the left hand side, but the cross was too high for James Forrest. You want Maeda in the box there, or Ida's on the bench. As I say, I think Ida will certainly have a role to play tonight. But right now, I think almost 12 minutes in the clock, Paul, it's easy to see this is not going to be easy for Celtic. They're going to have to produce something pretty special to get through this tie.
Rangers fans, Igamane did not train today. I doubt you'll see him again. Lille are back in with another bid. What else? Dessers is also linked, as we know, with moves away from Rangers, but the manager said his attitude has been first class. We know he hasn't been playing the last couple of games. I think he has had a knock. And then the futures of Oscar Cortez, Leon King, Rabbi Matondo and Clinton and Ciala are uncertain. That's some of the news today. And news about Nathan Patterson, a former Rangers player, a Scotland player at Everton, not getting enough game time. He's wanted by Seville or Sevilla. The Old Firm referee at the weekend is going to be Don Robertson. Right, we've got a quick break for the news. It's 0-0, but we'll jump in if there's anything. We're back shortly.
The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. New and improved Whopper. Now with fluffier buns. The Whopper never tasted so good.
Let's go!
Still 0-0 Celtic at Kairat Almaty. We've played 17 minutes. Andy Walker on the latest.
Yeah, Calmat are the better side. They're more adventurous. I mean, they had a player crossing the ball into the box there. He's got 5 teammates inside the box. That shows you that they are determined to get this first goal. We know they can defend. It's going to be a really, really tough 90 minutes.
Mark, is that what we expected? Well, look, we know they were really good last Wednesday night.
Yeah, but what's surprised me so far, Paul, is Celtic are very sloppy in their passing. You know, it's not crisp enough. 2 wide guys, Yang and James Forrest, not getting into the game. They're not getting service. Maeda has had nothing as a centre forward. Nygren's the only one that looks maybe capable, you know, middle to front of causing something. Schmeichel hasn't had a save to make, but I have to say, just over 18 minutes on the clock. Celtic will need to do a lot better to get through this. At the moment, this has got penalties written all over it.
Good ball from Tierney through to Maeda, but he's forced down the left. We've got 2 players on him, Andy. They recognise he is the most dangerous of the Celtic players.
Yeah, and that's a part of his game I think he has improved upon. Receiving the ball with his back to goal and being able to turn so sharply, just taking them into the last third. They've still given it away, and Kairat have got a throw in, but Mark's right, it's just going to be tight. I do think Celtic have 2 or 3 players who are capable of a special moment if they can get the ball forward with some quality.
No shots on target for Celtic so far, Mark. Is there anything?
Nothing of note, nothing that I can recall, Paul. Schmeichel's not really anything to do either, but it's just like Kairat have looked livelier in the final third. Brendan Rodgers there, camera panning on him, looks a bit frustrated with things so far.
Yeah, not much to talk about on the pitch so far. I think there's only 1 shot so far from either side. Celtic just losing possession, which is surprising given the fright that they got last week at home. It was embarrassing's too strong to say, but Celtic were rated much higher. I mean, they're rated, Kairat. This doesn't mean anything during a game, but they're below Motherwell and St Johnstone in the UEFA rankings.
And listen, we know Motherwell can play good football and cause a surprise or two. This would be a massive surprise given what's at stake. Celtic have known for some time we're in the Champions League qualifiers. I don't think their preparation has been top class. I think it's just been a bit haphazard, and they're going into the game without their strongest team, because a couple of players will arrive at the weekend. There's a forward pass from Yang, and Tierney had made the overlap, but my goodness, I think he's put it off his shin, and it's out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, it was 20 yards off the mark. It should have been a simple pass down the left. Mark, I heard you groaning.
A shocker. I mean, Tierney's bursting a gut to give him a good option, as Tierney does down that left hand side. Just a wee simple curve in the ball, just clip it round the full back and let Tierney run on. An absolute shocker.
Who's buying these players, Mark? That is one of the things. I mean, Yang, it looked as though he was heading for Norfolk 5 weeks ago.
Do you know, Paul, in some situations you've got to say it's not actually Yang's fault. It's Celtic's fault that they don't have better options than they don't, because they've known that he's nothing. He's a competent squad player. He's not a game changer. And I agree with you, Andy. He did look lively when he came on. I think it was at half time last week maybe. But it's unlikely he's going to win you a Champions League game. There should be better in the building, and that's the frustration that Brendan Rodgers has had for the past 5 or 6 weeks.
Declan's on saying, look, from the coefficient point of view, Celtic need to win tonight as well. He is a Celtic fan, but he said with Rangers tomorrow, who had been doing well in Europe, but it looks as though they'll be going out. This isn't good news, because last year and the year before there was no preliminary round for the champions, but now there is, and there will be next season as well, I would imagine. We could go further down the rankings. Yeah,
if we don't improve our results just in general right across the board, you won't get 5 teams going into the potential of European football. You'll get 4, and even with the 4 it will be through the qualifiers. So it is a concern, and just in general you want our teams to be a lot better than what they have been.
The there was Liam Scales was venturing forward, Andy, but he was caught in possession there. But it did bounce favourably for Carter Vickers. I mean, he wants to calm them down as well, although he's anchoring the defence. So he plays it out to the left to Kieran Tierney. but it's
Tierney
gone out of
loses
play.
it. He's trying to go past on the outside. There's no room. He's kicked the ball out the park again. And the amount of times that Celtic are giving the ball away so cheaply, I'd say even from throw-ins, where you should be able to have a better chance of keeping possession. Here's Kairat with a throw-in of their own in their own half, and they're quite happy just to get the ball up, be direct, and fight for loose balls, second balls.
See the people, we've got someone in the ground there. Brian McLaughlin is there in Almaty in the Central Stadium, and he says every time they touch the ball they get huge cheers. Every time Celtic there's a boo. And Charlie Mulgrew said that the other week in the game against Barcelona some years ago. Celtic hardly touched the ball, and then when they won a throw-in, the Celtic fans rose to a man and woman and got right behind them. He said it felt like scoring a goal, just getting a throw in. And I guess, Andy, the fans can, that could be the 12th man for Almaty.
Yeah, you can hear Celtic with a good chance with Maeda inside the box. It's come to Tierney for the cutback, but the chance is gone. But no, Paul, I think all of these guys have got a lot of international experience. I don't think crowds will faze them, but my experience is crowds can put a yard on your stride. Playing in front of the Celtic support and a full house, it can certainly be
they're in.
And it's a chance for them. It could have been goal number one, but Schmeichel did well.
Offside.
It was 1-on-1. But the flag is
Andy,
well done.
I just watched that clip where Maeda's played through with a lovely ball. Now, if he glances to his right, Forrest is coming in at the back post. He just rolls it across the 6 yards board with his left foot, and he turns his back in the play and takes it in his right foot. It was shocking play from Maeda. Lift your head, roll it along the deck, and Celtic would have scored the opening goal. Really poor play from Maeda.
Well, Ricardino, who's wearing the number 99, he is the one that almost got through. It was the correct decision. He was offside, but just a hint of how troublesome they might be. Here's Yang again, getting to the bylines. Got to be better here.
What are the options he's got? Plays it to Hatate, great chance, and the keeper saves a header there, Andy. Just over the bar.
Forrest did well, got a bit of power in the header, but much better from Yang. The cut back to Hatate, putting it into the box, and you can see James Forrest coming into the central role from the right hand side, and it's down the throat of the goalkeeper. It's a good reaction save from him, but one you would have expected him to make.
Yeah, good save. I'll give Celtic a lift, Paul. It's our first effort on target him around the 25-minute mark, so they've got a corner kick.
Yep, good header from Forrest. Hatate did well. Yang also, I know we were critical, but we're just calling it as we see it. But here's a chance for Celtic. It's on Amazon Prime, 25 minutes gone. We're just focusing there on James Forrest.
Oh, he's the one who had the chance. They had a corner, took a short one, and Nygren has tried to go on the outside, and again, just a ricochet, it comes off his shin, and it was a bad kick.
Open game, Andy, isn't it?
Yeah, they're quite happy to be direct and fight for these second balls, and I've got to say it's working for them. You see the man in possession now, and he's got 4 teammates in front of him. They are so much more ambitious than they were in Glasgow, which you would expect.
We're going to talk Rangers as well. A few Rangers fans saying, guys, what do they think, Andy and Mark, for tomorrow night, and what's going to be the Rangers lineup? It's difficult to say because they've got Sunday, which is arguably even bigger, because I think Rangers are, you're never, I could hear Barry will be saying every game Rangers want to go and win, and of course they do, but they've got Celtic on Sunday and they haven't got a win in the league so far.
Yeah, I think there's also got to be a sense of realism and the fact that it's next to no chance, as far as I'm concerned, of Rangers overturning the deficit and getting through tomorrow night. Sunday is more realistic and possibly more important for Russell Martin. He has to go and show that he can win a game. But that was always an accusation. Philippe Clement and other ones, Michael Beale, go and beat Celtic when it matters. Barry managed it on his first game, and this will be what Russell Martin will need to go and show the Rangers supporters, that he is a manager capable of toppling Celtic, and he'll have that opportunity on Sunday lunchtime.
If it's a boxing match, they're matching Celtic, aren't they? Punch for punch. They were on the attack there, Andy, and that was a chance down the left ball into the box.
Ralston just caught out of position, and Kairat taking advantage, getting a ball into the box. And again, you see the options that the man in possession has. He's thrown it into the box. There's 3 teammates there, 3 at the edge of the box, and Tierney does well to turn it round. It's still a corner for Kairat.
So Kasper Schmeichel shouting instructions to his players. 27 minutes gone 0-0, so there's no scoring. Last week, no scoring so far as we head towards the half-hour mark, but it's the corner kick on this near side as we see the Amazon Prime pictures, left-footed, high, right into the 6-yard box. It's played away there and it's past the post. So, Mark, Celtic dealt with that fairly well.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, Paul. I don't think there's anything to suggest that Celtic are going to do it. It's an old saying, it's a saying that I don't particularly like, but just it's very clear, and I know the evidence about, Kyra are no mugs. They're absolutely no mugs. They have got a chance of winning this game tonight.
It would be an almighty shocker overall if Celtic don't go through. It wouldn't be, having seen last week, but if I said to you a week ago that it would be as tense as this.
It's self-inflicted, Paul.
It is.
If Celtic don't go through, it's self-inflicted.
Oh, we'll be back to the chance of what's happened. The board, why did they not spend the money? And I know there's a school of thought waiting to see what's going to happen, get qualified. I honestly don't understand it. There's 60 million in the bank. Nobody's saying splash it. But come on, there's recruitment departments. There's people well paid. Do the job.
They're £15 million in the black in terms of this window alone, in terms of ins and outs. So they're £15 million to the good.
Wow.
Never mind what's in the bank before this window started.
And I know there's all the chat, but Engels is on the bench and Trusty, who's not here because he's injured. But here comes Celtic. Down the left, but the ball is out of play. I'm not sure. I mean, if you win a double, almost a treble, you do so well in Europe, then going through Engels, Trusty and Ida, but they were part of that squad, Andy, and contributed to it. You could argue, they could have been better, but
I think it's really arrogant not to do your business, to maybe expect, we've got a right good draw, this is the best we could hope for. We will beat Slovan Bratislava or Kairat. We don't need to do business as quickly as we should have done. Let's see how Rangers got on. See if we need to spend money. Had Rangers won comfortably last week, I'm absolutely convinced Celtic would have spent money quicker. But very arrogant if this goes tragically wrong from those at the top.
And the Celtic fans, they love the European nights, the Champions League nights. We've not played it at all, Mark, this time. We're not playing it until they're in it, if they get into it, or if Rangers get in as well. And the way it's going, we might not be playing it this season. We didn't play it in the preliminaries because they're not there yet.
No, it's certainly Celtic have got a tough ask on their hands at the moment. Almost half an hour on the clock, 0-0. They've had one good opportunity, James Forrest forcing the goalie into a decent save from a header. That apart, Kyra have penetrated the Celtic area. Schmeichel's had a good save, albeit it was offside. But no, Celtic got a bit of work to do. And for me, Paul, looks as if this is going to, hopefully the way it will pan out is Kyra will tire and Celtic can maybe bring just one or two bits of extra quality off the bench to go and wrap up the tie.
And that's where Engels comes on, for example. And
Engels, Ida. Listen, there's not an abundance of quality.
Bernardo,
but there's two or three there that could come on and help.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, it's 0-0 after half an hour. Celtic are Schmeichel, Ralston, Carter Vickers, Scales and Tierney, McGregor the captain, Hitati and Nygren, Forrest, Yang and Maeda. On the bench, Sinisalo, Duhan, Simpson Pusey, Ida, McCowan, Shin, Osmond, Kenny, Engels, Bernardo, Murray and Donovan. The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King, as we keep you right up to date with what's happening there. And on the G850 podcast, the Old Firm Derby, the city's sporting soul, a Glasgow 850 podcast special. Download it now. Just search on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts to watch it or listen, or head to thisisgo.co.uk for more info. And earlier on, we gave away £100 to our friend Craig from East Kilbride.
Yeah, he guessed the name right. He did very, very well.
He did. And we'll be doing it again tomorrow night with our friends at Vision Scotland. Just watching, Andy. So 0-0, 31 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a very tight contest. Tierney fighting for every ball in the middle of the park. He's punished for the hold on the jersey, which is right in front of the referee. And yet again, Kairat will have a free kick, and no doubt they'll go direct. Everyone back for Celtic.
And that's why Kieran Tierney came back to Celtic, though, because he wants to be playing at the highest level in the Champions League. He wasn't getting a game at Arsenal. He could have gone elsewhere, but probably not Champions League. But this is what he's here for.
Yeah, he wanted to come back to Celtic. It was a great move by Celtic, for all the criticism they've had this summer to entice Kieran Tierney with a lovely contract, and his willingness to not to look elsewhere. and come back to the team he supports, where he should have comfortably a good 5 years in the tank. Paul, so it's a great bit of business by Celtic.
A few Rangers fans on saying about incoming players, but we're waiting to find out. It looks as though Igamane will go. Leila in. Feyenoord have been mentioned as well, which would be two good clubs coming in for him.
Yeah, wait and see what they're willing to offer.
5 or 6 million, I heard you say.
Yeah, I would say if Rangers can get that, they should be delighted. I can't see it being 9, 10, 11, Paul. I'd be very surprised at that. And I think as well, when it's now in the public domain what's happened on Sunday, that weakens your bargaining position.
Yeah, such a pity that this guy who showed up so well at times in the Champions League, where there was a lot of eyes on him, and you know what type of money they have down south, they will happily spend a bit more to take a chance on someone they can get relatively cheaply. And it's just the attitude of not willing to come on in a game to help your teammates. I just can't understand it.
It's pretty awful. What about the changes at the weekend? We'll hear a bit more from Russell Martin. He spoke about what he did at halftime, but not at the moment. We don't want to take our eyes and ears off Kairat 0, Celtic 0. That's the latest there. What about Nathan Patterson? A few of you are asking a loan deal to Seville. That would be good for him, wouldn't it, to get more game time? I mean, Everton, great start for Davy Moyes in the new stadium at the weekend.
A great result to beat Brighton. Jack Grealey's playing his part, pick for saving a penalty. I just don't think it's not happened for Nathan Patterson at Everton, Paul, since he got that 10 million move from Rangers. He's been very, very unlucky with injuries as well, but I think it would be good for him to go away, and the chance to go to La Liga, what a great opportunity.
Good move down the left for Celtic, the ball into the box, but it's just not come to a Celtic player yet. But Hatate plays it into the box for the head of Forrest. Andy?
Yang was really sharp there, and he linked up well with Kieran Tierney down that left hand side. I think Celtic are going to get a free kick here in a promising position just at the edge of the 18-yard box. Ralston, I think, has been brought down.
He was clattered there, Andy.
Yeah,
would that be fair
was.
to say?
That's a sore one. 50-50 ball. Ralston totally committed, gets there first, and a bit of a collide, maybe a bit of a dead leg for him. Let's hope he's okay.
I tell you, Tony Ralston for Scotland and Celtic hardly gets any game time, and then suddenly he's needed in huge games, and he doesn't let people down, does he?
I think he's a great professional. I think he gives you everything he's got, and yeah, you're right, he plays a lot of games and he's got some good experience. He's playing international football as well. I think he's got a goal for Scotland even, so just a really good pro.
There's somebody you play 5 and 7s with. It's Mark Wilson, the former Celtic, Scotland and Dundee United star. He's on Sky at the moment talking about Kairat 0, Celtic 0. Nygren, what a game he had at the weekend. Mark, you begin to see the influence of the player.
Yeah, he's going to take this set piece for Celtic. And Paul, as we've said, Celtic need to bring in quality. There's been a lot of pressure on the board to do that. And when you say quality, as you said, Paul, it's not about spending 10 million in a player or spending the 40 million in the back. There's Nygren, £2 million. He's quality. You can see already that's money well spent. So not every player can be £2 million. Sometimes you do need to go into the 6, 7, 8 bracket, but as long as they're better than what's there, that's all the Celtic fans are asking for.
And Andy, you know, as a player, you need other. You were up with some other great strikers as well, and that's good for you, and you were good for them.
Yeah, I played alongside Mark Guidi, who was wonderful for me. But we signed Joe Miller, we signed Frank McAvenny. You sink or swim, and I've got to say those players improved me. I was a better player playing alongside them every day. I felt as though my game at training every day had to improve just to compete with these guys, and that's the way it should be at big clubs. And I think that is what has been missing here. Can you imagine Celtic signed a really exciting wide player along the same lines as Jota, who you know is going to be injured for some time. Kuhn, who delivered on the Champions League stage last season. Can you imagine Celtic signed someone similar? I think that would have given the dressing room a lift.
It would. We're not going to take a break until half time, is that? Or I wanted to take a quick one. I'm just checking. Yeah, I think we're okay. We've got the okay from James there, the controller of all things broadcast.
Why are we laughing?
I've not got a clue. I'm not sure. A top radio star contacted him earlier today, so I've got my eye on you. I'm just watching to see what's going on. Here come Kyra at the ball into the edge of the box there. They're coming forward because Celtic were beginning to come into things a bit more, Mark.
The wee bit more of the play. They were looking a wee bit more menacing, but still, no, there's still definitely a lot of work to be done. Paul, Kyra aren't going to be, pushed aside easily, that's for sure.
They're well organised, aren't they?
They are, and they've got a throw in here, 10-15 yards from the goal. I'm not sure it'll be a short one. I think they'll just try, whatever they do, they'll just try and work across into the box. You can see already 4 inside the box and a couple hanging outside.
And on Nathan Patterson, the deal is agreed between Everton and Seville. Everton just want to make sure they've got cover for him because he obviously is cover there. But that would be a good move for Nathan Patterson. We'd love to see him playing, thinking of Scotland as well in this World Cup qualifying year. Yeah,
that and that'll be a motivation for his move as well. Clearly David Moyes is a good look at him. It's not for him. I don't know if it's a full year, if it's for 6 months till January to go in, or 5 months to go and get some game time. But I think for Nathan Patterson, it looks as though he needs a fresh start.
He certainly does. The Isak derby was last night. Some game, wasn't it, Andy? I don't want to take your eyes off the Celtic game, but 7 minutes to go, 0-0 here.
I did think it was a red card for Anthony Gordon.
Did you?
You the same?
Yes, it was fair.
I mean, he's caught him on the calf and he's ripped his sock down, and it was too high and too aggressive. He was out of control.
What about the young player and the dummy?
Oh, what a tough finish. What a story. I mean, really cruel on Newcastle, who'd played so well with 10 men, but I love seeing guys like that, 15, 16 years of age, getting an opportunity and taking it. That's the main thing.
Sometimes I wonder, we're too slow here, when you look at the stars, not least Lamal,
16 years old, 17 next week. What a beautiful finish. Lovely dummy, and to take it first time, young Rio, who again was given his chance in pre-season, almost like maybe making up the numbers to some extent, let's go and we'll take him anyway, have a wee quick look. And that's probably why I thought, we can sell Ben Doak. Let's go and get a 25 million for Ben Doak. This kid's coming through.
Ben Gannon Doak.
And it's good young player as well.
He is, isn't
let's hope he settles in quickly at Bournemouth, because he is the one player in the Scotland team, perhaps the only one, who's a proper eliminator. I mean, Andy's just talking there about somebody Celtic saying somebody exciting in a wide area. That kind of Ben Gannon Doak mould, albeit obviously they couldn't pay 25 million quid for that kind of talent, but they need to find somebody exciting that can go and eliminate players and create chances.
Andy, what's happening in Kazakhstan? Still 0-0, nearly 40 minutes.
Yeah, just the ball bouncing around the Celtic 18-yard box. They can't get a hold of the ball. It's a bit scrappy, a lot of loose balls, a lot of turnover in possession from both sides. But Kairat now have got the free kick, and again they will be putting the Celtic defence under pressure. Nygren, I think it was, with a foul.
Our colleagues in the papers today, they told us about all the games, Scottish teams against Kazakhstan opposition, including the under-21s. We've never won. No Scottish team, including the national team, has ever won over there. Now that's got to change at some point, but is that in your psyche, Andy?
I don't think so. No. I think you're just more focused on the individuals, so you'll know a wee bit more about after the first leg. But I've got to say, their approach this time, they're much more adventurous. I mean, we know that they're defensively sound and organised, and Celtic dominated possession on a much better pitch last week, it has to be said, but they've got so many men forward at these set pieces.
Ball floated into the Celtic box. It is bobbing about. It's like hitting tennis, and it has been cleared finally by Maeda. Shows you how far back every Celtic player was back, but he and Yang are up, and the ball goes all the way back to the Kairat Almaty goalkeeper. It's the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Thank you for making the switch. So many people saying that you tune in from 5 every night. We kick off the football conversation in the great city of Glasgow and in Scotland.
Yeah, we certainly do,
because Glasgow is in Scotland. Yeah. Last time I checked, as the ball goes all the way back to the other end, it's like basketball here, back to Schmeichel to Scales out to Kieran Tierney. 25 million when he went to Arsenal in 2019, but not the best ball to Maeda.
I think this has been a feature of Celtic in the 41 minutes, just giving the ball away too easily. I mean, he's fired the pass in, a difficult one to control, but whether it's Tierney, whether it's the angle from Maeda, Celtic giving the ball away too often, and that's I've got to say it's unlike them. I know that this is it's a tense game. It's full of anxiety, but not really controlling the game with any controlled passing or whatever.
I think as well, one player who Celtic need to be better than what he's been tonight, certainly, and maybe also is Maeda. He's not clicked yet, whether it's wide left or tonight as a number 9. I know it'd be hard for him to have that consistency every time that he had last season. He was exceptional last season, but in the first 3 or 4 games of the season so far, and tonight, he is a shadow of the player of last season.
But the worry for Celtic fans is after the game tonight, that he could be the subject of bids. Nobody in Scotland would like to see him go, unless you're, Barry, obviously Rangers fans would say Maeda, he's outstanding. But as Celtic come forward, but it's easily picked up by their goalkeeper. But that is a scenario that might happen, but let's not catastrophise just yet, Mark, or what do you think?
He'll be on the radar of a few clubs. You look at the kind of player that he is and the bit of movement that you see every day down south, 1 or 2 moves, not quite happening yet, but I think he'd be on the list if certain moves happen down south. He'd be on the list of replacements for some clubs, or if they can't get their number 1/2 target, Maeda could be target number 3/4. So I still think it's one to keep an eye on come the closer of the window on Monday night.
I see the saying in the Beeb, for example, Celtic clearing a free kick there at the 3rd attempt, not looking totally convincing. 2 minutes to go until half time. It's 0-0, Kairat 0, Celtic 0 as Kairat come down the left. The pace has slowed just a little bit, but the ball's not quite cleared yet. But there comes Ryo Hatate, the Japanese international, forward to Daisen Maeda, his international colleague. It falls favourably for Yang. Yang tackled though and loses out, but it comes to Kieran Tierney, who does well there. Andy, you see his experience as he plays a triangular pass there with Liam Scales and the captain, Callum McGregor.
Yeah, I think both teams are just searching for that bit of quality, that chance to get their noses in front. I mean, defensively, it looks as though both teams are pretty sound. Both got good goalkeepers. My goodness, the first goal, 0-0 in the first 90 minutes, 0-0 here. It looks as though as we get towards half time, maybe it'll just be a goal, one goal, that might make all the difference.
Charlie McGrew last night thought it could go all the way to penalties, and when pressed he thought Celtic would win on penalties. But Andy, that would be really tense. Celtic have done well in penalties, but the cup final, not so much.
You would immediately think of the cup final last time they had that penalty shootout, and as you say, normally you've seen them win through. Especially you think about the cup final against Rangers where Maeda got the winning penalty, but it's not a scenario Celtic want to have. I think there is enough quality, and who knows, maybe it'll be someone like Ida or Engels or Bernardo, someone like that coming on. Luke McCown, he's done it before. Can he do it on the Champions League stage? What a great moment that would be for someone to come off the bench and make the difference.
There's 1 minute has been added, so we'll get 50 seconds left, and it's gone from one end to the other. Celtic in possession down the left. It's Tierney with Hatate, chance for the captain. McGregor shoots, comes off I think a defender, but Celtic coming forward again. Andy, is there VAR that will watch to see?
I didn't think it was a handball. I know that Callum McGregor and other Celtic players were claiming for it, but it didn't look a handball to me.
And if it was the other way around, Mark, you'd be saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it didn't look like a pen. We're just going to see a replay of it now, possibly, but no. And even 1 or 2 Celtic players did appeal for it, but they were kind of half-hearted ones. I don't think so, and in fact it's not a penalty kick.
It's definitely not a penalty kick. We've played Andy, he's spoken, hasn't he? Yeah, referee thing. So the former reserve goalkeeper who's now going to be a referee. How were you in the derbies? That was a big one, wasn't it? Morton St Mirren for you?
Was it
was? Yeah.
Just my usual, gifting the opportunities to the opposition.
Half-time whistle's gone. It's 0-0.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Try the new and improved Whopper, bursting with flavour and juicier than ever.
Let's go! Go Radio Football Show. Paul Cooney, Mark Guidi, Andy Walker with us tomorrow night on the show. I'll tell you who's going to be here. Craig Moore is going to be here tomorrow night, and Peter Grant. Yep.
Good double act. Good double act.
Will they be talking about Celtic in the Champions League, Andy? Or, I mean, last night was mainly about previewing this game, but also the Rangers fans really not happy. If Celtic don't go through tonight, that's a big if. But half time, if people are just tuning in, it's not been a great first half, but it is 0-0.
It's 0-0, it's tense. Celtic haven't been at their best. Difficult conditions, difficult pitch. But you can see in Kairat Almaty that they're ambitious. They're getting men forward. They're direct. They're putting the Celtic defence under a bit of pressure. That you need to be physical. They need Carter Vickers and Scales to be in top form. Ralston's been involved in a physical contest as well as Tierney. And they're just looking for that bit of quality. I just wonder if they have it tonight. I wonder where it'll come from.
Gregory's on saying poor first half, but he still thinks Celtic will do it in the second half. We're seeing Martin O'Neill there, the legendary former manager. I wonder what he's thinking for half time and what Brendan Rodgers is going to be saying to the players to ensure they go into the hat for Friday.
Obviously, it's not good enough. We need to be better. We just need to be more precise with our passing. We need to just get at them a wee bit more. I don't think they'll be overly concerned in terms of as much as kind of had a bit of the ball and they've got it. Celtic, they don't really look like scoring either. So it's just that Celtic, can they find that wee moment of magic? Is somebody going to step up to the plate and just take the game by the scruff of the neck and go and get that goal? Because I think it could well be, Paul, and maybe if it comes for Kennedy, first goal's a winner. I think Celtic just get that first goal, they'll be absolutely fine. But right now, they look a bit off it.
And yet, how important is this game tonight, Mark? In context, with the 40 million, but it's actually not just the money. Celtic got so much money in the bank. If they don't get this, the Celtic fans are going to say, well, what's this about? You know, what is it about following the team? We had the guy on, was it John, a week past Friday, who had spent £800 in strips, not in his season ticket, but for the family, and he's not alone.
Paul, if it goes wrong tonight, and we'll find out, it might take as long as an hour and a half, but we'll find out, might be 45 minutes, there will be mayhem. The Celtic supporters there's a lot of them, I think, just on the edge, and it's going to spill over. So obviously Scottish football, for Celtic, the players, the supporters, and for the Celtic hierarchy, they need to get that result tonight, because if they don't, I think the hierarchy are going to bear the brunt, and it doesn't matter what they do. Even if they spend 25 million between now and Monday night, the Celtic fans are going to go for it.
Preparation has been far from ideal, and you had to have a couple of bits of business done to help the manager, to help the team, to help the dressing room, to give the supporters a bit of a lift. You got the benefit of the best draw imaginable. It's been a poor first leg in Glasgow. You're now halfway through the second leg, and I didn't think it would be as close as this with 45 minutes to go, but it is, and it's an astonishing gamble that Celtic have taken to not bring players in and to still be level with only 45 minutes to go.
0-0 at half time. Let's talk Rangers until the second half gets underway. So 1-1 at St Mirren at the weekend, and it was Finlay Curtis who scored, a high point for Rangers.
Yeah, Finlay's been amazing. He's probably disappointed he hasn't played so much, but he's been brilliant. He's so reliable. He's really early on in his journey, but do you know what he has? He has like so much care for the club, for other people, for his age. He wants to fight and run for other people. He wants to take the ball. He wants to score, and he just has a lack of fear right now, which you have to keep in his game, because it's the hardest thing in the world for a young player to then stay like that and stay a bit free. So we have to keep him like that, and he's a really good example to some of the other guys. He's all in, and at the minute we still have, with the transfer window open, a few too many with one eye somewhere else and one eye in here. So we need the transfer window to shut and make sure that at that point everyone is all here.
But first half Rangers were really, really disappointing, and they were outgunned by St Mirren. What did he do at half time, the manager?
Yeah, to help the players. The players have done it. So I'm not overly fussed about the shape. The concept of the games are most important. And the guys who came on the pitch helped us. They took the ball. All of the guys that came on. So it's about trying to help the lads as much as we possibly could.
He was asked about who's going out the door. He spoke about Igamane. Didn't say he's going out the door, but he revealed there'd been a bid for him. It turns out it was Lille. There's maybe another one coming in. What about Bojan Miofsky? He was asked, the former Aberdeen striker, could he be coming to Rangers?
I've been linked with a lot of players. I think having 2 bids for strikers now, it's probably common sense that we would look to replace him at some point. But he's obviously another one that's been linked like many players.
Because Mark, Dessers could well be on his way, Igamane probably as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I would probably, I think Igamane, you need to get shot of him, but I would rather keep Dessers and get rid of Danilo if you can. But there's other factors come into it. Maybe nobody's wanting Danilo, or it's maybe only a loan, and you need to get the money, and you need an outright transfer. So Dessers is more of an attractive option. But I just think if Rangers sell Dessers, that could really hurt them, really damage them.
He said there was a bid in for Dessers recently, didn't he? He was the only one who'd attracted a bid, and his attitude was really good and all the rest of it. You would imagine there would be another attempt to get him before the window closes.
Yeah, he said his attitude was great. Quick break and then we're back. We see Stilian Petrov there, Andy, along with Martin O'Neill with Gabby Logan.
Well, you can do a bit of Petrov in the middle of the park, I think.
We'll see if he's available.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Try the new and improved Whopper, bursting with flavour and juicier than ever.
Let's go! So 0-0 at half-time. The teams will be out soon. Celtic 0-0 with Kairat Almaty. Hard to believe in some ways, Mark, isn't it? That, there's been 60 minutes in Glasgow. Sorry, the 90 minutes in Glasgow. 45 minutes there. Still no goals.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, only 2 saves really. That Celtic have forced the Kairat goal into. One tonight, a header from Forrest, and one last week, a low shot from Forrest, which was a fantastic save. The goalie tipped it onto the post. So in terms of creativity, opening up Kairat, Celtic have been well below par, but they might just be good enough to get away with that kind of performance, Paul, and go nick a goal somewhere here. But I just think it'll come to the bench, 2 or 3 changes just to liven things up on the hour mark, and I think Celtic will get it over the line before 90 minutes actually.
Celtic of course are closing in on the deals on Balikwisha from Royal Antwerp, and the Boca, and he's an attacker, the Boca Juniors left back Marcello Saracchi, so that seems almost nailed on, not totally confirmed yet, but Andy, that'll count for nothing if they go out of the Champions League.
Well, I'm like Mark, I think Celtic will still have enough to get through. I really hope so, but yeah, you do at this stage. You look to the bench and you think, what is it, McCowan, is it Engels, is it Bernardo? Obviously Adamida I think is a favourite to come on and just get one of those goals. He's got a big goal in the cup final to win the cup for Celtic. He's got a couple of Champions League goals. He's got vital goals at Easter Road, at Fir Park. There is a little something there. I mean, he's absolutely not a £9 million striker, but I'm just surprised that he didn't start the game tonight. Here's hoping he has an impact when he does come on. Huge amount of money sitting in the Celtic benches you've just mentioned there. I mean, Paolo Bernardo in the cup final a year and a bit ago, he created it. It was his shot that Butland couldn't hold. He could easily have gone down in the middle of the park. It was quite a strong challenge, but he kept on his feet, drove at the Rangers defence, got the shot away, and when Butland fumbled, there was Adamida just to win the cup. And that's that little bit of magic you need from a couple of players. As the Kairat team come out, Celtic still in fact they've come out as well, so they're all out, Mark. So tomorrow night, what's your prediction for Rangers before we kick off here? What do you think? 3-1 down, it's going to be mighty tough. Nobody really expects them.
Bruges 2, Rangers 0.
Andy, what do you feel?
Yeah, Bruges by 2 or 3 goals.
And for Rangers fans, I heard Barry saying they need to compete at 2-0. That's not a disgrace against Club Brugge or Bruges.
The time to compete was last week when you're at home, Paul, and take something over the road. It's too little, too late. It might well be that Rangers win tomorrow night or get a draw, but it won't be good enough over the piece. Like I say, though, for me, tomorrow night isn't significant compared to Sunday. For Russell Martin and for Rangers, they need to go out and show that they can win on Sunday. If they don't win on Sunday, 4 league games played, 9 points behind. That's an absolute shocker. They're out the title race if Celtic win.
You reckon?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they're out the title race.
Celtic top of the table with the 9 points. Hearts on 7 after that. There was a comeback but dropped points. Hibs on 4, but remember they've got a game in hand. Livy on 4, Motherwell on 3, along with Kilmarnock and Rangers Then Dundee on 2 points along with St Mirren. Dundee United and Falkirk on 1. Aberdeen still to win, but of course they had no game at the weekend. A few of them there. Aberdeen, Falkirk, Dundee United have only played 2. Andy, as we kick off, no changes for Celtic. I guess that's no surprise. If it stays the same, it would be the hour mark. You reckon he would maybe change?
Yeah, it seems to be the way of it. And Celtic, remember, I've got the experience. Ralston doing well down the right hand side. His ball into the box is cleared, but Celtic have got the experience and they should have enough to get this job done.
I see audio options that tells you to listen without commentary. Is that
bizarre?
I'm
glad that wasn't around when I was doing it, because that would have been a disaster.
Here come Kairat down the right now, play the ball into the box, but that was funny, Andy. Yeah, down the right, still Kairat coming forward. Andy, danger point here, but headed away by Cameron Carter-Vickers, signed a few years ago from Tottenham Hotspur, and what a signing he's been. But the ball there to Maeda, just too strong,
to
too
Maeda
much.
again, very sloppy.
Not like Celtic though. I mean, that they had that last week.
There's been a lot of misplaced passes, and they need to cut that out. I mean, Kairat they're a different force tonight because they're an attacking team. They weren't an attacking team last week, and despite all the possession that Celtic have, they couldn't get the breakthrough, and that's why you've got this tension, this anxiety with 45 minutes to go.
Joe Rothwell, let's hear a little bit from him. You're missing none of the Celtic game. He spoke at the weekend about the pressure of these games coming up this week. Bruges tomorrow night, and then Celtic on Sunday.
I think we just have to try and block it out as much as you can, and we know the magnitude of the games that are coming up, and obviously Wednesday night's a massive game for us. Obviously, if we can go there and turn that tie around, then it'll obviously give us massive confidence going into the weekend game. And then, as you say, then we play that game, and who knows where it can take us if we manage to pick up 3 points there.
You heard Mark a few moments ago saying if Celtic win on Sunday, then it would be virtually Rangers unlikely to win the title. Joe Rothwell had his view on Sunday.
6 points at the minute. Obviously, we go there we play them next week, and we get a result. It's down to 3, and then, like I say, obviously things might start to swing, and a bit of positive momentum in our direction, and then we can hopefully kick on from there.
So he's
hopefully. No conviction. Hopefully he's not good enough when you play for Rangers, and that's where the new guys need to get on board quickly, and they need to be on it. Paul, they need to embrace that 90 minutes. They're at home. They've not been champions for 5 years because they've not been able to beat Celtic when it matters. Then they go on the road, and like they've done this season already, when you look at their opening 3 league fixtures, with the greatest respect, they really couldn't have asked for any better. And they've got 3 points.
Here comes Celtic. Celtic coming forward now down the right. Andy,
I thought Nygren was going to pass. He obviously wanted a shot away, but Yang was free on the left hand side, and that was a missed opportunity.
And Nygren has done well. I don't know what the changes would be as a Kairat player has gone down there, but Mark, that was a chance. It was a good ball down the right, then slipped in.
Yeah, it was a chance. He hesitated. He just should be lifting his head and just releasing that pass right away, but he hesitated and lost possession. So either release the ball quickly out of the left, or even have a strike on goal. You're 23-24 yards out, go and have a pop. There's Brendan Rodgers pulling him over, just kind of tell me to go and just get things, let's just speed it up a wee bit. It's a bit too pedestrian from Celtic. 4 minutes into the second half, it's been quite slack from them again.
This is a team that earlier, it was last year, was it the beginning of this year? Yeah, it was this year, wasn't it? Last season against Bayern Munich, they were moments away from
January, end of January, yeah.
But that's miles away from the way they're playing tonight. As that was a bad tackle there, a late tackle. And in fact, so their players also, I'm not sure which one is Finney, but Carter-Vickers is at the moment.
Well, I think the referee has given it Celtic's way, so I think he thought it was Carter-Vickers who was on the receiving end, and he certainly won the ball, Carter-Vickers, and he got a late one.
And a few people are on Celtic fans saying, guys, what would you do now? Where would you make the change? We've played 5 minutes of the second half. It's still 0-0. Andy, what do we think?
I would definitely get Ida on, so that would involve getting Maeda on the left hand side. I might get I would take Nygren off, maybe get McCown or Bernardo on, and I think Celtic just need a bit of inspiration from somewhere.
Need to throw a switch, Mark.
Yeah, at the moment I would probably go bring Ida on, put Maeda to the left, and put Yang to the right and take James Forrest off. That would be my first switch.
I mean, he's not a lot of game time at all. I don't know if they talked about him being not quite fit, but he's fit for today.
Yeah, he's maybe carrying something. But I think this could just be the game for him, Paul. Get a couple of balls into the box. He's not he's had a poor start to the season by standards. He's just not been at it at all. But he's got something. He's got something to offer. So go and get some service to him and see what he can do as Kyra on the attack here.
Yeah, Almaty come forward, but McGregor's there, lobs it back to the keeper, who'd had to head it, and then
you can't handle it from a pass back.
It's a pass back, so he's headed it, and then
it bounced so high that he had no option, Kasper Schmeichel, to palm it away. But I think this is a free kick inside the penalty area,
inside the Celtic box.
Interesting one, because some people think it's only if you catch it that you get penalised from a pass back. But as soon as your hands hit the ball, but the referee's explaining the situation here. I don't know if it's offside or what's happened, but it might not be a free kick. I think it's actually going Celtic's way. Okay, let's just double check this.
He's not offside
he's
there.
Not off.
He's passed it back.
Callum McGregor passing it back.
There's the bounce.
1, 2.
Right, so it's touched twice by.
So there's the full. It's got to be an indirect free
box.
kick on the 6-yard box.
52 minutes gone, tense moment for Celtic. What a chance
what
for
the Kyrat players complaining about? They're not happy, even though they're getting the free kick. They're complaining about something. I don't know what. Are they? I mean, they're not surely expecting it to be a penalty. I mean, or what is it they're complaining about? Because they're not happy.
I don't know. Maybe some action being taken against Schmeichel.
Right, okay, yeah.
So
maybe,
you've got every single Celtic player. Well, apart from one who's on I think it's Yang on the edge here. I mean, it's so difficult actually to score from here. And remember, the Celtic wall is on the goal line, and the Kyrat players have to be a metre away. You saw that with the Chelsea Palace game. So they have to be a metre away. There can't be any interference.
But if the ball comes off a hand or an arm, Andy, that's a danger.
I think the man to charge it will be the goalkeeper, Schmeichel.
Yes.
So we'll see how this plays out, but it's not often you see an incident like that. It was the bounce of the ball that got that did Schmeichel. He had no other option.
Oh, he had no option.
Wow.
No, you can't blame Schmeichel. He had no option. Oh dear, let's see.
So 53 minutes gone. Here it comes, Callum McGregor shouting to the referee. The referee's got a job here, hasn't he? So it's right in the 6-yard box.
They're blocking Schmeichel's run. The Kyrat have put a wall in front of Schmeichel to block his run.
Penalty.
That looks like a penalty for me.
It does look like it. Has the referee, in fact, he's playing on just now.
He's maybe waiting for guidance from VAR, but
here comes, that looks a pen. Out of the pitch.
Here we go now, ball's out of play.
Yang did well taking the ball away. We're waiting to hear. Yep, there. In fact, the referee is coming back. He's saying to the players, "Look, stay back just now." Is he waiting?
I think there's an injured player there, is there not?
Right, we're waiting to see the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in fact,
Kyrat captain's injured.
He's up there. Next
Certainly,
to
they're in
Schmeichel.
the VAR's in his ear.
Yep,
definitely in his ear.
So this is possibly.
Here we go. Replay.
We're just seeing it again here. So Jorginho takes it, and
it's not a pen. It's not a pen.
Dyson Maeda had his hands around his chest, and it's hit his hand. Now
to try and get out the way of the ball.
His hand is just below his face.
I don't think it's a pen, but it could be given. But I don't think it is one.
I don't think so.
No,
but
it's play on.
It could have been
survived
given.
it.
The referee has said.
I tell you what, that's a double. From the free kick and then the possible penalty. That'll just give. Listen, they need a boot up the backside, Celtic, and maybe that'll just give them it.
Big time, Mark.
Yeah, they do. Needs to make changes, Paul. Needs to make changes. It's not. They're not going to win. They're not going to go and score a goal with that outfield 10 at the moment. He's got 2 or 3 options on the bench. This is where the manager needs to come into his own here and come up with something.
It's funny because you get an indirect free kick on the 6-yard line, but normally you've got 10 yards between any opposing player and the ball. And it's just so difficult to score when you've got so many men in front of you.
Well, tomorrow night we'll be talking about it. Will we be talking about Celtic through in the Champions League, or will it be the Europa League? And then we'll be previewing Rangers, who are in action tomorrow night against Bruges. 3-1 down from
Maeda slack again, Paul. A simple layoff to the winger, and he's slack again. A 5-yard pass. Maeda has been just
Not
miles
like him.
off it. Miles off it.
It could be his last game.
Is his mind somewhere else?
You wonder. You don't know. He's given everything for the club. He was the player of the year. But Mark, quite a few Celtic fans are on saying this might be the farewell to him, but they hope it's the farewell. If it is, with a place in the Champions League, we'll find out. We'll be back tomorrow at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Try the new and improved Whopper, bursting with flavour and juicier than ever.
Let's go! The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.